So the minutes of the last meeting have been approved. Two announcements. The first one Maria Freda just gave me is that there will be on tomorrow evening at 7:30 in the CAC, there will be a play named Raising Jane by Jane Tamarkin. The play is about her life as an actor, singer, and teacher. Okay, so she wanted me to announce that. And then the second announcement is by Carol Gilstad. There she is.
Is this not working? Okay. I just want to make sure that people are aware of and know about this brochure that's been on the bulletin board opposite the mailroom, and it's about the New Haven Memory Lab. And the Memory Lab was developed in partnership with the Beinecke Library. And it's an opportunity for you to go there and be trained to use scanners to be able to digitize things like your documents, archive family things. You can scan negatives, any kind of documents, slides. Some people have come in with some very large diplomas that they can also scan. So it can also scan books, pamphlets. So what you do is to call the library, or you can scan the QR code on the brochure that's on the bulletin board to make an appointment for approximately 1 hour, and somebody will meet you there then, usually either from the Beinecke or from the public library, to train you to how to use the equipment. Thereafter, you can make future appointments, and you do it by appointment so that you know that somebody else isn't already using the equipment, because there's only one of each type of scanner. To make an appointment to digitize your items that you want to. I must admit, I went down and I did it. I've scanned photographs, old family photographs that I had, slides that I spent hours going through to pick out the ones that I wanted to scan. And it really is great that you can scan it and then you can either email it to yourself. I took a flash drive down and plugged it into their computer and loaded it directly to the flash drive. So there are all kinds of, you can send it to the cloud, however you want to preserve your material. But it is a wonderful opportunity to be able to use this equipment. They have I'm going to look and see, I'm going to read what it is, because they have an auto feed scanner, which is very fast and moves the photographs and documents through very quickly for scanning. They also have a large flatbed scanner. So you can scan, like, I think it's approximately 45 slides on each flatbed screen. And then they have the overhead scanner. So as I say, take advantage of the opportunity, look at the brochure that's on the bulletin board, and you can also actually, once you're trained, the material, you can bring some of the items here to your own place, to Whitney Center, to your apartment, whatever, for a week at a time. So that's another opportunity too. So take advantage of it.
Thank you. We have a question over there.
She wants to make an announcement.
I'd like to expand a little bit on this performance that's going to take place tomorrow night, Tuesday, at 7:30 here. Jane Tamarkin is a very seasoned equity actor, singer, coach, director, and she has now written a one-act play, and she's doing a reading of it. And she's also a singer, and there will be 4 or 5 songs in the course of it. So I really urge you all to come. I think it'll be both delightful and quite moving.
Okay, so let's go through the action items from the last meeting. first, either Greg or Fred, do you want to say a couple words about Employee Appreciation
Go ahead,
Fund?
Greg.
Well, the total donation so far is about $132,000 from 122 people. That includes 5 families from Meadow Mills and 2 Thrive at Home members who have made donations. The number of people donating is about 122, which is about half of our residents. We have 272 people in North and South buildings. I don't know how many in the health center. There are 34 at Meadow Mills. And in Meadow Mills' case, 5 of the families have made donations. Donations have ranged from $20 to $10,000. I should also mention there's been some $1 bills stuffed in the box on occasion. So we have some anonymous donations of that level. We also have 2 donations in memory of somebody who has died. There will be more mailings. Do you want to talk about the mailings, Fred?
Yeah, for those of you that are new here and may not know what we're talking about, just very briefly, the Employee Appreciation Fund is our way of saying thank you and acknowledging the wonderful staff we have here. And we give them a check usually around the 1st of December. And this is in lieu of tipping, which we're discouraged from doing. So if you're not aware of that and you're new, you will get a letter from us in the not too distant future explaining all this, and hopefully you'll consider making a contribution. We will also be sending out letters to those of you who have divided your contribution between for 2 payments for your second payment. And there is consideration of sending another letter to everyone so that we can top off in case there are people that have forgotten about the Employee Appreciation Fund. And finally, the committee will be meeting around the end of October, and we'll be reaching out to you, those of you that have not acknowledged our letters with a contribution. We'll be reaching out to you in a very friendly way, with a smile on our face and hope in our hearts that you will consider contributing to this very, very important fund.
A reminder here is that Whitney Center does not allow tipping. So this is the way that we show our gratitude. And I think that that's important for some people who are maybe new, or others of us who may need a reminder that this is, because we do not tip, this is an extremely important a way of showing our gratitude for all that the staff does for us.
Okay, next item on the agenda is the Solar Energy Task Force. Joe Blumberg doesn't appear to be here. My understanding is that this task force is continuing, and I think Joe it's in good hands with Joe leading it.
Well, I think we've had a meeting with a consultant that Ken arranged for us from the university to look at the whole issue of solar installations and what's going on with the federal government and other ways of subsidizing it. And I think we're getting a new quote on how our finances might work given the current charges for electricity and the fact that we know that the electric rates are going to be going up significantly. And so the question is going to be, how is solar going to look in terms of dealing with those economic demands that we're going to be facing? And of course, there's also the moral ethical argument of what we need to do to lower our carbon footprint overall. And so those factors will be taken into consideration as the committee looks at how we could potentially have a solar installation here at Whitney Center. I don't know, Greg, did you want to add anything further?
Yes, one of the issues is if you put the panels on the roof, when do you need to replace the roof? And so we have to look at the issue of panels and roofing at the same time. We have North Building and South Building and Meadow Mills all with different roof installation times. So we have to look at all three of those. And just to put this a little bit in context, our electric bill currently is $50,000 a month.
Okay, the next issue is about dining service, and there are always discussions and complaints and praise and all for dining, but we're gonna hold off on that. As you by now all know, Whitney Center has signed an agreement with Strategic Dining Services to partner with them to improve our dining and modernize it, et cetera. And we're going to, and Strategic Dining Services is going to come here on the September 16th. They'll meet with some of the residents as well as the dining staff, et cetera, and get this all started. So as this progresses, I encourage you to give input to our partners. Well, there are going to be different different committees or different assemblies of residents who will get to meet directly with the Strategic Dining Services. But in addition, we can be the conduit. So as soon as they get going, and you have issues that you want to present to them, either you can, if you can do it yourself, that's fine. If not, somebody on the Residents Council will present it for you.
John, the dining committee is meeting tomorrow at 10 o'clock, and that is for sure the place to go to bring your important concerns.
So as an add-on to that, I wanted to report a little bit about what happened with the bistro wall redecorating team. This was a group of residents and a couple of people from the staff also. So I just wanted to tell you what we did over the last 3 months, basically. The members of the committee were Judith Normandin, myself, Erwin Braverman, Evelyn Crevelin, and then Mo and Brandon from the staff. And then we added also Lucien Kaufman and Terry Flagg and Dick Vole. So we met a number of times and made a lot of discussion about different things to put on the wall. The walls in the bistro, the only way that we can decorate them are with like something that will not hinder sound absorption, which is what the walls are currently constructed of. So we're looking at canvas in some way, which is printed with a scene or that kind of decoration. And we went through a series of discussions about what kind of pictures to put up on the wall, starting off with sort of imitating what had been there before, and we were thinking about the possibility of just, food markets and that kind of thing. And then we expanded from that and started discussing perhaps having more scenic pictures on the wall. And then, you could do that in a variety of ways. So at the end of our meeting, which was basically close to the beginning of August, I sent a report to Ken telling him about all the different things that we had discussed and basically what we had suggested. And we've put the meeting on hold now because we expect to have a person from the dining consultants be proactive with that group with us. And so we'll start up again. I'm hoping to set up a meeting with them once they get established. And the right person will talk to them and see what their suggestions are, and we'll go on. But I just wanted to say to all of you that this is not a decision that's been made at all. So if you have ideas of any kind, remember it has to be something that will still not hinder sound absorption. So it can't be a picture, it can't be posters, it can't be that kind of thing. But if you have any kind of a suggestion about basically the scenery that you think that should be in there, come and tell me, email me, tell me, and I'll take it to the committee and it'll be further discussed. So just for your interest, we're still open to suggestions. Thanks a lot.
Okay, the next thing on the list here is the North Parking Lot project. That was discussed at the last meeting, and it sounded like the Whitney Center was going to delay putting markings and numbers on the parking lot because they're planning a bigger renovation of the lot. But instead, they decided this is urgent, and so they got it done. And for those of you who've been out to the North parking lot, they did a great job. It really looks good. Next on the list is Cafe on Main. Steve, you want to say something?
Thank you. The cafe is still being used by a lot of individuals and groups. It's a thriving operation. I want to thank Evelyn Krevelin and Linda Burt for being our last two cafe monitors helpers. Their 2-month volunteer work is now over. And Sandy Whiteley and Ann Schwartz are going to be helping for the next 2 months, September and October, to keep the cafe in good order, clean, and running. And again, I want to thank Mary Lou Pellegrino. Mary Lou, are you here? I guess she's not, but she provides snacks, goodies daily, and they are good. She's probably baking right now, Chris says. Although usually they get there earlier in the day. Those of you who have pets, and by pets I mean dogs, good news. The team has taken another look at the no pet policy, and we've decided to open up the cafe to dogs, but please keep in mind that it's all floored by rugs, so an accident is going to be a difficult thing to take care of. So we asked pet owners, dog owners, who use the cafe to please walk your pet before you bring it in, and keep your dog on a leash, please. The team is still considering the possibility of a game night or a game afternoon for several hours when you could get together with some friends and play a board game that you're interested in and enjoy. Bring a friend or a group when we have it. We'll give more information about that later this fall. Meanwhile, if you would like to be, excuse me, if you'd like to propose a game, please go into 102 the large room to the left, and write down on the whiteboard what you would like to play. We have a number of suggestions there, and we want to give everybody a chance to let us know what your favorite game is. I think that does it, John.
Thank you,
Any
Steve.
questions?
All right,
I
another,
guess I'm approaching perfection. Thank you.
another item from the last meeting was that the pond is looking rather scraggly. Baxter, you want to make a comment about that?
Well, when I brought it up to Karen, I'm sorry. When I brought it up to maintenance, they agreed that the pond area was really out of control, and they immediately dispensed the landscaping people and some specialists to go in there and clean things out. And they've done a pretty darn good job. They've cleaned up the area, especially by the end of the path near the driveway, which was dangerous, because if you were driving into the campus, you could not tell if someone was coming on the path towards the driveway. So that's been resolved. And there have been a lot of other plants that have been trimmed back, and some weeds taken out, and some equipment fixed. The pump was broken and has now been fixed. So all in all, we're back into the best-looking place in town.
Okay, next item is about leaky air conditioner units. And our maintenance people have agreed to schedule regular inspections or replacements along with their spring filter replacements. So these will be looked at regularly. So we thank them for that. Next issue was that came up last time was the program called Compass, in which pre-pandemic groups of staff members would meet in the pub with groups of residents and talk about themselves and about whatever. And it really was a useful way to get to know the staff people, and I think it was useful for them as well. So we discussed this with the administration, and they agree. But they now have they've now established a committee, a team member experience committee, to reimagine what Compass ought to be, more than just these meetings in the pub. So we can look forward to opportunities to get to know our team members better. All right, another thing that was on our minds in the last meeting were speed humps, speed control on Leader Hill. So anybody who has driven there recently will know that they have some pretty formidable speed bumps now. The one thing they don't have, and which was hopefully is still on the docket, is a speed table that will allow us to cross near Meadow Mills. So that's still missing, and may not happen right away, but we hope that they're still planning to do that. But it definitely, the speed humps they put in there definitely slow the traffic down, including me. All right, another thing on our minds was the bathroom doors near the bistro, particularly the women's bathroom, were difficult. So maintenance has stated that they have ordered power assists for those doors, so that'll be fixed. Lots of things got done while we were absent for the month of August. All right, next. Today is the day of the Democratic primary. Is it tomorrow? Oh. You're right, it's tomorrow. Sorry. So you're not too late. And Melissa DeGrand has arranged a bus that will be cycling between 10:30 and noon tomorrow. And so we hope everybody does their patriotic duty and votes.
John?
Yeah.
You could also point out, you could vote early today at the Hamden Miller Library. No? Oh, it was on a schedule at one time, but that's not true? Okay. Thank you.
So you've got one more day. So that gets us through the action items from the previous Residents' Council meeting. And I don't see any questions, so let's move on. Oh, there is one. A couple back there.
I just wanted to clarify that Compass was a staff and professional development day that every staff member had to attend once a year. The discussions were one part of that, and they were begun by a resident group called Creating Connections. And so when Compass was established, they worked with Creating Connections. So it's not simply a matter of, as I see the wording here, reestablishing Compass, which is a whole professional development day, but that's all.
Thank you. All right. Moving on, the Residents' Council has a table outside the bistro once a month. So the next one will be on September 25th, but the one that the previous one was, I think, Ellen and Chris.
I just want to say that it's an opportunity, because it's very quiet in here, but it's an opportunity for you to talk with the members of the Residents' Council. Last Thursday of the month, 2 hours, we have 2 people sitting at a table, and we're getting very good response for that. You'll be able to give your ideas about the bistro, your complaints, and your ideas and suggestions about the dining as we move forward. So I just encourage everybody to be aware that we are making ourselves available to talk to you personally on the last Thursday of the month, every month, from 11:30 to 1:30. So take advantage.
I'd like to report on the July 6th Residents' Council table, where Chris Johnson and I sat and listened to people's comments. I'm almost eating it. I know. Okay, so 31st? Oh, yeah, you're right. It's 31st. So it's the end of the month. Sorry. Looking at too many things. We had about 19 people stop by for serious comment, and a lot of other comments that were things like, everything is wonderful, we love the food, so on and so forth. So it's nice to hear compliments in addition to everything else we talked about. But some of the things that we gathered for further work were the residents would like improved signage in bigger print. And this had been brought to the administration in the past, but we need to follow up with them to see if they're planning to do something about that. Residents also requested more staff in IT because of the long wait time for work orders, but I understand there's something going on in IT that might be changing, so I don't know anything about that. We have to follow up with that. People complained about Whitney Center communication is too diffuse. There's no oversight on what's in K4, the emails, the kiosks, the flyers. And this has been an ongoing issue, but I don't know if anyone can come up with an idea how we follow through on that. I would be happy to take that further.
Another thing that came up was Heritage Commons, which is an assisted living in Middletown, has a day program for people with memory loss. And someone asked, could Whitney Center do something similar? At first for residents and then Thrive at Home folks, and then possibly expand it to outsiders, which might be a source of income for Whitney Center. And that might, we discussed, the Residents Council in our planning meeting discussed asking Karen Russell, the dementia manager, dementia services manager, to please give us an update from what she said at the beginning of the year about how her program is moving forward. So we're hoping to bring that to you in the coming meetings. And let's see. Yep, we've got everything. That's pretty much it.
So just the last comment that was made also was, remember the great piano move in the living room? So just wanted you all to know that now the piano's moved back to where it originally was, and that at this point it will be there unless there is a need to change its position. But it seems to have resolved its way through the back and forth. It magically moved at one point, but I understand there were cameras though on the move, so I guess whoever did it is out anyway.
Okay. Another issue that came up at our Residents Council prep meeting was that there are apparently a number of people, and this is, I guess, has come up in the Health Services, Health and Safety Committee, that who to contact with various kinds of health issues is not so clear. Should we have an organization chart? Should there be, I mean, if you go on K4 and look up the names of these people, they have titles. Not always clear from the title, is that the right person for you to contact? Now, one thing that is right is you can contact your liaison and they can refer you to the correct person. So that's a mechanism that we should be doing. But in addition, Michelle Ackerman, our Director of Nursing Services, said that she will present some information at the town hall meeting on Thursday. So maybe we'll get some useful information there. All right, moving on. Ellen mentioned the senior daycare center at Heritage Commons in Middletown. And we gave the brochure for that to Ken Sandberg and the administration. And I think they will be considering things like that. The key here is that there's a need to address this gap between when early symptoms or early diagnosis of cognitive issues start to appear and when you go into Meadow Mills. It's a long time period in between, and there ought to be some strategy, some help for all of us that are starting to go through those issues. The idea of a senior daycare center or some kind of group get-togethers, I think is a good one, and I hope that our administration will continue to think about that. All right, next item are the ERGs. Baxter?
Well, some of you, I think a lot of you actually know that we've got a program that's burgeoning now. It's a pilot program, but it's getting some acceleration. There have been 30 people who have expressed interest and actually been into the program for at least one class. And the classes are given up on the 6th floor in one of the patios, one of the open roof patios. And it's a very effective place to do a small amount of exercise. And we have presently 4 very modern and very capable, good equipment. They call them ergometers. We call them ergs, but they are rowing machines. And we are in the process of getting an additional 4. So we'll have, within the next 2 weeks, we'll have 8 of these machines there. And the classes have so far become, have been attended by anywhere from 6 to 9, one day 13 people. And we have a good coach, a Whitney Center coach, Edwin, who has been trained on how to use this equipment, and he's very effective. I was very impressed with him. He takes the class from those people who have never even thought of the word rowing to people who have done it for many years, like Steve Gurney and I, and we learn from Edwin. It's wonderful. So it's something that everyone can do you have to be practical about it, but people who you would not believe would be athletic or nimble enough have found this rowing machine very accommodating and have been very satisfied by the exercise that it gives. So feel free to come up and audit it, stand outside and watch by the commons upstairs. And if you like it, step in, and for sure you'll get a little workout, won't be too much, and you'll enjoy it. So it's a Whitney Center program, but it's still it's a pilot program. We're hoping this thing works, and to date, it looks like it will.
He said it's a Whitney Center project, but actually Baxter's the one that initiated it as a resident here, as lots of our other committees are initiated by residents. So we're very proud of him.
So
Do you want to tell us when, what time, what day, and what time you do these exercises so people know?
Yes, the program has been expanded. It started out with one day of 1 hour, but it's now on every Tuesday and every Thursday, and there are 2 classes each of those 2 days, beginning at 2 o'clock, going to 3, and then 3 o'clock, going to 4. We have segmented them on paper into the ones that the earlier one being for the beginning students and the second one being for more accomplished people. But at this early stage, we want to emphasize the fact that everyone is welcome. And if you have never, ever thought about doing it but want to do it and can't make the 2 o'clock, come to the 3 o'clock and you will be shown how to do it and learn the steps. It's a fairly complex step, but once you learn it, you get great satisfaction out of having done something this athletic and not hurt yourself or and wanting to do it again. That's been the common experience. So, and there is some talk, and maybe I shouldn't say this, but there is some talk about another session for staff, because there's been a lot of interest in the part of the staff for taking these lessons too. And we have to set up a time that doesn't conflict with their work hours, and we're considering that. But anyway, the program is alive and thriving.
I took the beginner's session last Thursday, and there's a lot to learn, but I'll catch on. I'll keep going, and it's fun in any case. Not just that you're doing a good thing for your body, but it is fun. All right. Last thing on our list here is there were questions about, does Whitney Center have a lost and found? And I think that the answer is yes, that both the north and the south desks will take things that you find, or you can go to those and see if what you lost might be there. Maybe somebody knows whether there's something else, but I think that's the simplest solution. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Now that we're back to September, I would invite everybody to remind you about storytelling the last Thursday of the month. We've had some regular storytellers every month we can count on, but we want to expand. If school's back, you can tell us what you did on your summer vacation. Last Thursday of the month, 7:30 here, storytelling.
Quick question. Did you say Michelle was going to address the COVID shot issues or not? I think people need to know whether or not Whitney will provide them or if we need to follow the procedure that has been established of going and getting them yourself at a drugstore or something.
So I don't know the answer to that.
About COVID? Okay. All right.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have her do that at the town meeting.
John, just another announcement. I hope I'm not stepping out of line, but for those of you that have weak vocal cords, want to have a chance to exercise them, I think chorale practice is starting. And as a non-singer participating in the chorale, I have not been kicked out. And I would encourage any of you who would like to sing or think you'd like to sing, come to chorale practice. Does anybody know when it's supposed to start? 3 o'clock tomorrow. 3 o'clock Wednesday. At the 6th floor Commons. So hopefully we'll see you there.
John, I might add or ask a question. How many of you have glasses that you are wondering what to do with? Anybody? Oh, yeah. Well, the question comes up for me because a friend of mine has extra glasses, and I have two. I have 2 pairs, as a matter of fact. And I will take it upon myself to find out how these can be recycled because, if they don't fit you, they may fit someone else. And I know there is a need out there among people outside of Whitney Center as well as here, perhaps. Mike?
Steve,
Yeah.
there, actually, I think Ron Braun is already making contact with the Lions Club to see about having a couple of boxes put here to collect the glasses. But the other reality is usually your, whoever provides your glasses usually will take them also. I know I use Kennedy and Perkins, and I've always taken my old glasses to them, and they pass them on to the Lions Club to be given away. So, but they are looking at bringing some boxes in here.
I guess I have a follow-up question on the COVID immunization. Whether or not Whitney Center administers, in the current absence of truthful information from the federal government, would it be useful for Whitney Center to do some education about the benefits of both influenza immunization and COVID immunization this year? I mean, we'll all have to make our individual decisions, but it affects the whole community as well. And I don't know if the nursing director or the health center medical director would want to just send out some general information or answer questions.
Well, Michelle Ackerman is going to talk at the town hall meeting on Thursday, and that's an obvious question for her. What I do know is you can walk into CVS and get inoculations more or less any time.
It's whether you should. Because I think right now a lot of people may be confused about that.
So I can tell you that what Michelle will say is talk to your doctor. Whitney Center is not going to be in a position of promulgating information that may or may not comport with what you understand to be true or not true. And so we don't want to get into that. So the best advice we have for you, and I think Michelle would back me up on this, is speak to your physician as to how getting more information about it, and then we can provide you with information as to where to get the shot and that sort of thing.
So we on the lecture committee were thinking of inviting Robert Kennedy Jr. here to. So this is the time for new issues. So does anybody want to bring anything else up?
I guess the only thing that I would like to bring up at this point is I would like to ask the Residents' Council to maybe raise with the Whitney Center administration about putting more of our staff on the K4 directory, especially maybe by department, so that we can recognize and know, for instance, who are our security people. I have no idea who all the security people are here, and I'm not sure I would recognize them if I saw them. So and especially at night, when there aren't a lot of people around, it would be nice to be able to recognize and know who those people are. I think the same may be true for nursing. Who are the community nurses that are going to be potentially coming to our apartment if we push our PERS? And also the same reason for the security. So it would really be nice to be able to be able to go into the directory and click on security and have a list of names of the people in security come up and a photograph. And as I say, the same for nursing. I would think that would be, it would feel more secure that we would know that we were looking at the appropriate person. I know some have said, well, you know, everybody has their name tag and it has their name and their picture on it when they come. So that's true. Sometimes they're turned around. Sometimes they're in a pocket. So no, you don't always see it. And for those people who have low vision, they may not be able to see it anyway, even if it is worn that it's turned around correctly so they can see it.
I mentioned this to John, but apparently he says that the issue has to come to the Finance Committee. But I want you people to hear it. It seems to me that if staff members who leave employment before the end of the year should be entitled to some proportion of the amount that comes in from employee appreciation. It doesn't seem fair to me that they should get nothing if they leave employment. That's it.
So I'm going to add on to what Carol has stated. I do appreciate the fact that we can have a printed copy of the residence directory that Lynn Hawkins has been having available. In the past, along with the printed copy of the residence, we also had a printed copy of all the people that work here, not all of them in like the names of your cleaning persons, but the managerial staff, and it was divided into the different departments because we don't know who's who and who's doing what. And just having that kind of chart in a printed chart in the hallway across from the post office is not good enough. We need to have it something in our hands for those that need it, because I'm finding that more people have difficulty with the K4, even though I'm on the K4 committee.
being able to have access to it. And it's important to have something written for people who have problems seeing and who have their fingers getting thicker and not able to really work some of the K4 material that is very important. And I do appreciate that Lynn had taken upon herself to be able to provide printed copies of the directory.
So I'm going to allow myself to comment about that. First of all, someone said, why can't we have updates sooner? The printed directory is starting this month in a couple of weeks, going to be printed just once a year. So what do you do in between? Your mention of the bulletin board reminded me. You take a picture of the pictures on the bulletin board. and
Not
that's
everybody
your-
can do that.
You know, there are some things that are just going to, where you're going to need to go to the desk for assistance, maybe. K4 is supposed to have supplanted the printed directory, and I know it hasn't, and I feel like I've provided a dangerous crutch. Expanding it to administration, to board of the directors. Yeah, but I guess I'm not eager to go that far. I'm a little embarrassed to have come up with a printed version.
I think this may be an issue for the staff to provide such information, such printed information.
Well, we'll leave it there.
And, or other people who are residents here who can take it over. But this is necessary information because what it means is that we lose contact with other people. And I'm thinking that having a printed directory and not include the Thrive at Home members either, because for me, they are not residents. But if someone wanted to just have the people who live in this our building and to have the management there all printed out that they can have on a semi-annual basis is a necessity because communication for me is very important. And I still use the old torn up directory that I had of the managerial staff, and it's out of date completely, but it would be wonderful to have it. Any way that we can increase communication between our fellow residents and with the staff is very important.
Okay, Thrive at Home, come to activities here, and I just thought to ask, how many of you know Rosa? She's Thrive at Home. And other people come here, they're, yeah. So,
I agree that it would be a different
I'm going to stop arguing
category.
the point.
I just want to say thank you, Lynn. I use that printed directory all the time for residents and for Thrive at Home people. I really, really appreciate it. And I wish it could be printed more often because there's so many new people now who aren't in that. But
Take a photo of the bulletin board.
no, I can't do that. Maybe I'm the only one in the room who can't do that, but I can't.
I can photo it for you, Julie, and
Okay.
give you a copy.
Okay, but anyway, thank you for doing it because it means a lot to me. Oh.
Yeah. I think there's great energy between the residents and the staff here, and I think we should all be grateful. But I'd like to do a little shout out for 3 people, unsung heroes as far as I'm concerned. People who do things, they do them around us, we're not really paying attention, but I'm grateful. Connie Totman is always around the property. He goes up and down Leader Hill. He's trimming, shaping. He does a great job, and I'm grateful. Rebecca Hetherington, she's always on Leader Hill picking up trash. I don't know where it all comes from, but she gets it, and I'm grateful for that. And the third person is Alda Saunders, who's done the CAC flowers for years and years and years. Thank you, Alda.
I don't see any other hands up, so I'd like to hear a motion to. There's Carol. All right.
I just have one observation. Okay, I just have, is that better? Thank you. I'm concerned about all the red chairs in the passageway by center stage. People are sitting there, understandably, it's more comfortable than a bench. However, it means that a person maybe with a walker or needing assistance really does not have ample space to walk down or let anybody pass. And I personally, from a traffic point of view and passageway, I think that's become a very narrow area. And we have a lot of people that are taking their dinners upstairs. I understand that. But I think that those chairs in that passageway is asking for trouble. I think that there's not enough clearance. Well, anyway, I know there's not. I'm not going to just say I think. I'm going to say what it is. It's not sufficient. And I would just like people to think about maybe how we can accommodate a change in that way. I've been talking about it, but let's put it this way. I've already put down that I'm aware of the problem. So if something happens to me, I'm covered. And I hate saying that. I think it's a distrustful way of thinking. But I am concerned, and I've dealt with safe passage in 10 stores in my lifetime. And I can tell you, it is not a matter to take lightly. Okay.
I hear a motion to adjourn. Second? Okay, we are adjourned.